Hello everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Wandering into Wellness. We are here at the RDS at the Christmas Craft Fair, and we are doing a little roundup of all our favourite things that we've found that are ethical and local for people to buy for Christmas presents this year, right?
And we've already put a native circle in our bag.
We have.
Thank you, Emily.
Very excited.
Exciting.
I have one at home as well.
Yeah.
But we were really, really hoping that we were going to be able to come and chat with you because favourite.
Oh, so nice. I'm so glad you've come.
Oh, you're one of the good ones. I mean, like
Yeah.
when we see you around and everything that seems to have like quality related to it, Emily will be somewhere there. Like we were at the Ethical Decisions for Business thing, you were involved in Distinction Rebellion. We just kind of find you where good stuff seems to happen, and your art is just amazing. I didn't know this bit about you until when we were at Christmas Flea last year, I think. That's when you're like, look, this Emily does this. I was like, she does what? It's amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been great because it's actually helped me do all my activism, having this as a project in the background. So that's been a really important thing for me this year because I've spent so much time working with Extinction Rebellion. So it's been really great. But I also do teaching in schools, environmental education through art. So yeah, I suppose I've got a few different things going. But this area of the market is actually wonderful because it's all these sustainable makers, and what you find is that nearly everyone you're talking to behind a stall has made their own stuff, and that's really the main thing, is if the stuff is coming from right here in Dublin, local, and people are making it themselves.
And small production.
Exactly. There's still some people here are still making stuff around their kitchen table, so that's really special.
That's the sort of scale that we're all trying to work towards. Like you kind of grabbed us and showed us the motto for the guys next door, which is all about like what you were saying. Like essentially, we actually don't want more. We kind of want less. Like we've already got to the point where production is out of control. We can't sustain a human. This is not a human level of production that's sustainable. We need to get back to like what can we actually do maximally.
And it's sort of a radical thing now to say, actually, I'm only trying to make enough money to support myself and maybe a couple of people working for me, and after that, you know what, I'm happy. You know, and that's actually kind of what you don't want to grow your business. You don't want to supply 100 shops. You know, so that's the difference that distincts people like me and makers that are here from other people producing.
And I think the key distinction is it's not lack of ambition that's stopping you from wanting to go bigger. It's ambition for the planet.
Yeah, consciousness that, you know, everything we do as people is affecting the planet, and especially consumerism. And, you know, obviously we're very aware of that in a place like this. You know, it is all centered around consumerism. But as much as possible, if we can make our decisions and in a sustainable way and try and get things that are made locally, try and buy things that are built to last forever, art, stuff that's
things with meaning, essentially.
Things with meaning,
and made with love,
throwaway,
right?
and from good materials also, and try and avoiding plastic and everything. So these are made from wood and recycled paper, and as much as possible trying to use local wood even. So these sycamore stands, these are floating shelves, and they're made from sycamore wood from County Wicklow. So even lovely to see the grain and how they've been handmade by my neighbour Barry, who's a carpenter.
Amazing.
So it's like, you know, every decision you're making as a maker is like, how local can I make this? Radically local.
Cool.
And how did you come up with the idea to start moving in and around cycles?
Well, actually, it all started with a collaboration with Lou Horgan, who's a yoga teacher. She specialises in womb yoga, and she came to me asking me for a cycle that depicted the female energy cycle for her teaching, like as a teaching tool. And so I started to look into that, and I learned a lot from her, and I started charting my own cycle. And from there, really, like, I started just seeing cycles everywhere. Then really started to touch in with the wheel of the year. So this print here, which shows the seasonality and, you know, the solstices and equinoxes. And really now I'm trying to live by this and make this my guide instead of what we have in our society, which is again all based around consumerism and a Roman calendar that's pretty makey-uppy, really. Whereas this,
weird,
you know, I mean, people look at this, they think, oh, it's fairy stuff. This is the most scientific calendar we have. It's based on the way the Earth is moving around the sun and our solstices and equinoxes. So we're coming up to, obviously, the winter solstice, which for me is much more significant than Christmas. You know, bar the nostalgia of Christmas, obviously, but, you know, the winter solstice, I really try to mark that with something. Like, we usually go up a mountain and, you know, watch sunrise, something like that. You know, to really mark it, because that's the point that the days are going to start to get longer again, and we can celebrate that and really be in tune with the seasons.
And also I feel like the more that I've come in touch with this as well, and these sorts of cycles like you're talking about, and the education around this, you feel like there's much more joy to be had out of nature at all times of year, and you don't find yourself complaining about the rain, for instance. You know what I mean? Like it's all part of the same thing. It has to die to regrow and all this sort of stuff. Which, I mean, like yesterday, or actually this morning, I just woke up and with the storms we had yesterday, all the leaves are now gone from my trees. And I was like, wow. But the catkins were already shown up by the hazels. Like, so the catkins are already hanging there, even though the leaves are gone. Like, you're already into spring. Like, it's already happening again.
And it's so nice when you have something like this as a visual representation in your home. It reminds you in those moments when you get lost in the, I've got to pay the bill for this, I've got to pay the mortgage for this, I've got to pay the school fees, all these things where we kind of lose touch with, like, what is the cycle in here in my body, what is the cycle underneath me. You have something like that, it's such a nice visual reminder to go, actually, the seasons are still going on. What's happening now? Where am I? I'm just this little teeny thing, and how can I make choices that are good for me and also good for everything around me?
And I think especially that now so many of us don't have that link to religion. Like, you know, we need something that feels supportive, that feels like a guide. And for me, that's what that really is. Both, our inner cycles and the outer ones. But the other cycles show, there's 8 of them altogether, and so they show things from the seasonal food calendar to the Celtic tree calendar. So our ancestors would have relied on trees so much for everything, for fire, for shelter, for medicine and food. So they mapped their year around the trees and what they were doing. So like you looking at the birch catkins, and you know, they were really so conscious of that. The lunar cycle, what our beautiful rare birds of Ireland are doing at different points of the year, sacred sites of Ireland and how they have solar alignment with the different points of the Celtic calendar, which is incredible. You know, our ancestors were so evolved and so connected to the land that they built these places that had alignment with all these points in the Celtic calendar. So even our equinoxes, and then they also had significant places for each Celtic cross-quarter day, so Imbolc, Bealtaine, Lunasa and Samhain.
Wow. Amazing. It gives great depth to what we're doing, doesn't it? I mean, we're standing here in a carpet in a trade show, you know, like, it's great. You kind of like, it means like I feel like I'm lost in that thing, you know? It's really transporting.
And it's exciting. It takes a different feel. There's so much change that needs to happen, and it needs to happen really quick, and it can feel really overwhelming, and it can also feel really othery. And this kind of brings it back to an excitement of like, oh, actually it's really exciting to get back in touch with that stuff, and there's so much great that can come out of it, and so much knowledge and so much learning, and this just kind of makes you get excited about it again, rather than feeling like it's a chore and a lack that we're doing, where we're having to deny ourselves things. This is like, oh, actually we're adding.
Exactly, and there's so much there. And especially, as you say now, when things are so critical, you know, actually what we need, I think a lot of people need, is to reconnect rather than, you know, be told to do a million things. It's about reconnecting.
So where can people find your stuff other than here today?
So I sell online, and I have my little studio on Francis Street in town, and from there I run an online business, so you can find me nativecirclesart.ie.
Cool.
Perfect. Emily, thanks so much. I know you're super busy and we've taken loads of your time.
No, that was so enjoyable. I could have done that all day, just chatting to 2 lovely people.
Thanks. Cool. But we will have Emily back on again for a big, long one, talking about this more in depth. But if you want to find her stuff for anyone that you love this Christmas, go to her website, order it now.
Pick it up, and we're going to find ours up on the hop sack really soon too. Exciting. Great.
Good. Thanks, Emily. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Esther's edit, but our edit from Gifted, the craft fair at the RDS. Esther is one half of Elements of Action. Ed and Esther are customers of mine from the shop, and Ed goes back a long way, family connections and stuff, and they've been doing some really interesting work on a house up on Leinster Road, and I've seen some of the commissions and things that Ed's done, and this year, what is this year doing at the craft fair? Tell us a little bit about it.
So this year at the craft fair, we won an RDS award for our furniture making. So we're a husband and wife team, and we make furniture in Rathmines in our studio there. And won an RDS award last summer because of our fog mirrors and bone lamps.
Oh, beautiful.
So jeez, I haven't seen them.
This is the sustainability area in the craft show this year. So the 6 award winners here at this part of the show. So that was fantastic.
That's a big deal.
Really delighted.
Nice.
It was really good.
It's nice to get a little bit of gratification, a little bit of like, actually, people think people like what we're doing, other than just
getting
buying
the
things from us.
accolade and just being recognised. It's just fantastic for a small company.
To have that acknowledgement.
Handmade craft makers, and it's made in Ireland and sustainable.
And there's so much time that goes into these things. So like, you came into the shop on Thursday, I think, morning, was it?
Did I look a bit?
Well, no. You came in and you were like telling me about these amazing bronze wreaths you were going to be doing.
Yes.
And then I said, like, how many have you got? She said 70. I was like, that's not going to be enough.
You're totally right.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
was like, it's
gosh.
amazing.
Oh
They're
my gosh.
gorgeous.
We have made these. So for the fair, we decided we wanted to give something that was small and sustainable and that people could take home for Christmas.
Yes.
So we made these solid brass bar
Beautiful brass
rolled
hoops.
rings, which then people can add to for a sustainable Christmas. So a wreath isn't just for Christmas. You can add to it
Of
during
course, it
the
could be
year.
any season or whatever. Yeah.
Take home one of these, and this, I don't know if you can get it out.
Yes, indeed. Cool.
Actually, probably up against the wall, you
gorgeous.
can see
Yeah.
it better. But the idea is just to add in celebrating nature in itself, just branches and dried flowers.
Magic.
And then you can add holly if you want them at home, or at Easter time you can add Easter flowers.
So beautiful.
But
And
I
they're
think-
lovely because they've got the nature element, but they've also got that architectural element
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And sometimes when we're going into these elements of like local and sustainable and organic, it can become too earthy and too hippie for lots of people. But this is really
Exactly.
nice because it still has that modern edge for people who are looking
Yeah.
something that's more current,
And it-
but it also fuses that nature thing back into it as
And
well.
it kind of celebrates the nature thing in a way. It like
Yeah.
frames it really nicely, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it kind of it
Yeah.
feels Japanese in that way. That kind of delicate approach to like understanding nature without wanting to
Exactly.
just be nature. It's kind of like this is
Yeah.
a human's version of a part
Yeah.
of nature that we really enjoy or whatever. Like an approach.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So a
it's
big part of our work is that we like to build nature into our designs. So
Okay.
this is just celebrating the beauty of plants and of the different dried plants, and then everybody can take them home and use them again and again.
cool.
And you are totally right. So we started on Wednesday and we ran out literally on the first
Oh
day.
God! Well, there you go.
We had a run on the rings,
Wow!
literally.
No surprise.
But I mean, everyone's
So we're
into wreaths.
delighted.
This year is wreaths.
It's wreath here.
Exactly.
Everywhere on Instagram, on all the social media, it's just everyone's going, this is the wreath that I just made this
Yeah.
year.
There's
But
a lot of workshops
isn't
and,
there? They're everywhere.
It's quite hard to find a ring and make your own. If
No,
you
it's
use
beautiful.
twigs, you can do it, which are beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's quite difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
tough going on your hands as
So
well.
our ones, you can just take your lovely brass one and then add to it. as
And you could do
see fit.
so much stuff with it as well. I mean, wouldn't have to be wreaths. You know, it's beautiful in the home for loads of different
Just a
things.
centerpiece
Yeah.
to frame your
Yeah.
candles around on the
Yeah,
table or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have
Lots
some
of
other little
ideas.
bits as well. You've got beautiful napkin holders as well, right?
We have little brass napkin holders and then small candle holders. My sister is Brookfield Farm. Who you
Oh, yeah.
know.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful
She
candles,
has
etc.
pure
Beekeeper.
beeswax candles that are handmade from Tipperary. She's got a sustainable farm down there. So we do a combo with our little boards in ash or mountain ash and her candles for €25.
Nice.
And they're really popular
so
as well.
nice.
So that's the small things. And then we have been talking to people about our bespoke service. So we will make something for your home.
Yeah, about that. No, I'd say the
Bespoke.
fan.
So everything's made to order. So our big mirrors, you can go home and think
Oh,
about
there
the
were lots
size
of-
that you want, and then we'll give you a quote
Okay.
and make
It's really individual, really
specific for
tailored.
your home. Yeah.
Exciting.
Been chatting to lots of people about that, but it always takes people a couple of weeks to think about it. We take that back and forth. There are lots of interest in that over the
Brass
days.
is always the thing. Is brass kind of the main material? Is that?
Brass is in. It's
Yeah.
very cool. We've moved away a little bit. I don't know if you can see this is a rusticated brass
beautiful. It's
framed
beautiful.
mirror
Yeah.
that has become really popular. So we can have polished, brushed, or the rusticated brass
Okay.
mirrors.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the fog is a new idea that we've been playing with. Just
That's lovely.
ancient orange wood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. important things.
2,000-year-old. It's so special.
Yeah.
So we've used it as a little veneer on this mirror. It's inlaid with brass.
Really beautifully done as well.
Nearly like jewellery.
Yeah.
Great.
I really like the fact that it's that combination of old and new
Yeah, again,
in this
isn't it?
really
Yeah.
lovely juxtaposition. You've got hard and
on the
soft
land.
and old and new. And it feels like, you know, these are ways that you can bring nature into your home. You don't have to compromise on it. You know, you can
Exactly.
still, if you're interested in design, you can do design in a natural way, which is exciting,
exactly.
I
So
think.
incorporate natural
And
materials.
it's lovely because fog out is literally, it's like fossilized wood.
Yeah.
It's nearly like stone. And Ed used to be a stonemason
Oh, really?
back in the day, and now he's a furniture maker. So it's sort of a marrying the old stonemasonry with the
Wherever
furniture
you're at
making.
now.
Okay,
So
cool.
That's really nice.
And are you taking the wreaths to anywhere else? Like if people have missed the RDS?
Yeah, we have a pop-up we're planning in Leinster Road, just beside your little shop.
Yeah.
On the 21st and 22nd of December. So don't panic if you haven't got all your Christmas
Yeah.
presents by then.
And it'll be a chance to see their amazing house in Leinster Road, folks. I mean, like, they put some amount of effort into that beautiful, beautiful space.
I'm excited. I
It's a
haven't
treat.
seen it.
Yeah.
What's going down? We're going to have the lovely glint glass across the road there.
Oh,
Who
beautiful.
recycle bottles and glasses. They hand engrave them, and
great.
this is
nice.
really reuse over there. And we have a few other people, Brookfield
Oh,
Farm,
you're bringing
candles
in.
and
Oh,
honey.
nice. There's going to be a
There'll be a
little.
little pop-up with
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've got a few other people that I haven't quite confirmed.
How
but it'll be
exciting.
fun. Yeah, for your last minute Christmas presents.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Leinster Road 23.
Lovely.
And how
Thank you.
do people find it? Do you have a website or you're on social media?
Yeah,
or
social
what?
media.
Okay.
Elements of Action.
Okay.
Company's Elements of Action. And I'll
Elephants of
pop-
Action is a good one, though. I don't know who they are, but I feel like they exist.
5 days.
Sorry, I threw that. That was mean. But yeah, Elements of Action on Instagram.
On Instagram, Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter.
okay.
And we have a website, elementsofaction.net.
Okay,
Great.
Perfect.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for taking the
That's
time.
It was a beautiful
It was
day.
like a mini Esther's edit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, it will be next
Did I
weekend.
take it?
Yeah.
We're calling it Esther's Edit next weekend.
I should do.
You
should
should.
totally
We
do
have coined it. We get free passes. It's exciting. You heard it here first, folks. Okay, thanks so much for listening.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to Wandering into Wellness. Doing our little roundup of the best Christmas things gifted in the RDS. And we found Joan from Waters and Wild, and we sort of got addicted to her scents.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Yeah, I think Lydia, like, we
I'm
were
buying
both
all
collared
of
by it.
them.
Yeah, basically.
Excellent.
But tell us a little bit about it. Where does it come from? Because it's where you get attracted to certain. We do certainly. Like, there's a sense of authenticity around a scent brand, and this really feels like that. Why is that? Do you think?
Good. I think it's my location. I live in West Cork. We moved to West Cork. I was involved in fashion before, and I'm surrounded by just natural beauty and great big bunches of lavender and seaweed, and we just became aware of the natural smells, and it was more coming from a place of not loving perfume.
Okay.
But love of natural scents. So it's developed really from that.
I think what for me, I have really, really sensitive skin,
Okay.
and I've always loved perfume. It's been something that's been really evocative for me, but whenever I wear normal perfumes, I react to them so badly. And it's such a challenge to find really natural perfumes.
Yes, I think in the perfume business in general, they would use synthetic instead of the real ingredient because it's cheaper and more stable and more, easier to replicate continually.
Okay.
Whereas we create perfumes that have a vintage.
Yeah.
So, for example, the rose and oud, the organic rose Osho will change year by year because of the soil.
Amazing.
So we create a
wow.
vintage of a perfume. So if you love one particular vintage, maybe buy a few bottles. And,
Oh wow.
and then just the ingredients, the natural ingredients are incredibly beautiful. The tuberose, seaweed, we use some of our own ingredients, the seaweed, the gorse, the lavender. And the seaweed is a wonderful absolute, a base.
What do you mix seaweeds with as a scent? What's their?
It can be a beautiful base, a beautiful fixative. It's
Okay.
kind of a very earthy, grounded kind of smell.
Wow.
We use it in the tuberose,
wow.
frankincense. And it's not that you smell seaweed, but it's just there
In the background.
combining.
But it's a real
yeah.
response to your environment. This thing, obviously.
Oh,
then.
absolutely, totally. And just that beautiful smell of nature, a burst to nature. If you're living in a city, just to get a smell of Calabrian bergamot you get the uplifting qualities of the oils. The
It's also
Calabrian-
antidepressant. It really feels like it, doesn't it?
Totally, because they're real oils, you get the benefits, the essentials. So
Yeah.
it's just joyous to wear as well.
And you also do a serum, right? A facial serum.
We have an organic facial serum which just came about from making a product for myself. Again, wanting to use something naturals, and it has neroli, lavender, fennel, frankincense as active ingredients.
Wow.
And they are anti-aging, hydrating, and healing for the skin. So any sensitive issues you have, this will work. And it's one of the oils it's in is olive squalene, which glides onto the skin. So it's not a heavy.
It feels so silky when it glides
does.
on and light.
Yes, and then you get the beautiful smell, which kind of is lovely to help you sleep. It aids sleep as well. So
Magic.
yeah.
And how did you come up with all your branding? And because everything's beautiful.
It's been a long journey. It's a work in progress. The logo now is inspired by the standing stones, the ancient standing stones that we have in around us.
Okay.
It's just that steeped in tradition.
Are you an artist as well? Do you work in other forms of other mediums?
I do. I like to dabble.
I feel like you do.
I like to dabble. I did an arts degree in Shirkin, and
cool.
I just always love to dabble in everything. And the perfume is beautifully creative as well. Making perfumes is beautifully creative too.
And a really slow process. I feel like it's a kind of meditative, reflective thing,
Absolutely,
right?
you have to put it away, and you have to come back, and then you realise that didn't work, and you've got to try a little more. It's
such a personal thing, but what I really found from your sense is that they have this real kind of earthy, botanical nature feel to them. You really have that sense of the nature rather than just like, oh, this thing that I spritz around myself, but it's like a connection back into the earth and the nature around you.
Absolutely. A lot of us work so much in cities and things now that it kind of grinds you when you're away. You just get a blast of nature onto your skin.
Important. So where can people find your stuff? So obviously online, I presume?
We're mainly online, watersandwild.com. We have gone very well into Germany because they're very organically minded. And then we've had wonderful press in the UK recently with Indian Night and Country Living. So next year we hope to be more available in Ireland and everywhere really, hopefully.
Well, thank you very much, and best of luck with it. It's great.
Thank you so much.
Very high level dabbling.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank you. Pleasure to talk to you.
Cheers.
Lovely.
Nice one.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.